In a year full of unexpected twists, breakout moments, and rising stars, few have had a 2024 quite like Liv Morgan. There's no denying that her journey to the top of WWE has been one of resilience, reinvention, and overcoming obstacles that would have stopped many other talents in their tracks. However, before you get too comfortable with this opinion, let me clarify that this take may anger a few people, but it will also make some fans very happy. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Liv Morgan has arguably had the best 2024 of any WWE superstar, and it's not even close. Looking at Liv Morgan's career, it's clear that 2024 marks a pivotal year for her. If you track her trajectory, you'll realize that she's come a long way from her early days as a utility player in WWE. Initially, Liv was one of those talents that you would use to elevate other superstars, getting them over without really pushing her own character. She played the role of a plug-and-play performer, filling in gaps wherever needed, but always having that potential to do more. And now, just a few years later, she has firmly cemented herself as one of the most important figures in WWE. When you look at her in-ring work and the stories she's involved in, one thing stands out: Liv Morgan has truly emerged as a main event caliber talent. A few years ago, no one would have predicted that she would become the force that she is now. Her rise has been nothing short of impressive, and heading into 2025, Liv has put the entire WWE roster on notice. Take her feud with Rhea Ripley, for example. This rivalry, which has been brewing for months, is now set for what looks to be its blow-off match on January 6 at Monday Night Raw's Netflix debut. The feud between Liv and Rhea Ripley has lasted far longer than many fans anticipated. Some were ready for it to end, while others hoped it would continue to evolve. But regardless of opinions on the length of the feud, it's undeniable that Liv Morgan has used this rivalry as a springboard to reach new heights in her career. As we head into the early days of 2025, it's important to recognize how much Liv Morgan has achieved. She has gone from being an afterthought to one of the most compelling characters in WWE. There's a reason why this has been her year, and I'm not the only one who believes that. Michael Cole recently made a point during the Raw Netflix kickoff event to declare that Liv Morgan has had a better 2024 than some of WWE's biggest names: Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Gunther, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Bianca Belair, and even the newly minted superstar Jacy Jayne. Now, before you hit the comments section and tell me how crazy I sound, hear me out. Let's break this down. Liv Morgan's rise in 2024 has been almost like an overnight sensation. At the start of the year, nobody could have predicted that Liv would be where she is now. In fact, it's surprising that a talent who had previously been relegated to supporting roles has now become one of the most talked about superstars in WWE. This turnaround has been nothing short of remarkable, and I believe she deserves every bit of credit for it. Let's rewind and take a look at how this all began. Liv's 2024 journey started with a bang in January, when she entered the Women's Royal Rumble match. While she didn't win, it was clear that the company had plans to feature her prominently throughout the year. From there, she was thrown into a high-profile feud with Becky Lynch, a feud that would elevate her star power even further. Now, Liv didn't win that feud with Becky, but that was always part of the plan. At the time, Becky was one of the biggest stars in WWE, and Liv's role was to work with her to make Becky's return even more meaningful. Becky had been out of action, and her feud with Liv would help position her as the top contender for Rhea Ripley's Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40. However, things didn't go exactly as planned. Following that feud, Rhea Ripley went over Becky, but then things took a turn. Rhea suffered an injury that kept her out of action for several months, leaving a gap in the women's division. This is where WWE had to think on their feet. With both Rhea and Becky out of the picture, they turned to Liv Morgan as the next big thing. Liv was a former SmackDown Women's Champion, had experience in the main event scene, and perhaps most importantly, she had a built-in fan base. WWE knew they could push her to the moon and see where she could go. So, WWE took the opportunity to turn Liv Morgan heel. cranking up the volume on her character and positioning her as a true antagonist in the women's division. Liv's heel turn was refreshing and marked the start of her revenge tour. Many fans, myself included, didn't anticipate just how successful it would be, but as the year went on, it became evident that Liv was tapping into something special. The partnership with Judgment Day only further elevated Liv's status. At first, pairing her with Dominic Mysterio seemed like a throwaway move, but it actually worked. Liv, as a member of the Judgment Day, started getting over in ways that no one expected. WWE began splicing her into more segments, giving her more screen time. Suddenly, she wasn't just a wrestler, they were positioning her as a top character who could anchor segments from start to finish. Liv started opening shows, carrying segments, and even taking part in main events. WWE, recognizing her rising popularity, began using her in multiple segments throughout each show. This is something we often see with WWE's top-tier stars. They appear in opening segments, throughout the mid-card, and in the final segments of the show, keeping fans engaged and invested in their stories. And Liv was no exception. Every time she appeared on television, fans were excited to see her character grow and evolve. The turning point in Liv Morgan's rise was when Rhea Ripley came back from injury. WWE had a choice. They could have put the title back on Rhea immediately, but Liv was too hot at the time. She was the top heel in the women's division, and the fans were fully invested in her. So, WWE made the wise decision to extend the feud between Liv and Rhea. Instead of rushing into a title change, Rhea was positioned as the babyface chasing Liv, and this dynamic only further helped elevate Liv's heel persona. As someone who has followed this feud since its inception, I can honestly say that I didn't expect it to go on for as long as it has. Initially, I was hoping for a trilogy, but I didn't anticipate them dragging it out this much. However, WWE made it work. Sure, there were moments when the feud seemed to lose some steam, especially after SummerSlam and the mixed tag match at Bash in Berlin, but they kept the momentum going by introducing new elements and keeping the audience engaged. And by the time we got to the Raw Netflix debut, the feud was poised for its final blow-off match, something fans had been waiting for. Now, as we look ahead to 2025, I believe that Liv Morgan has had the best year out of any WWE superstar. She's gone from being a middle-of-the-pack talent to a legitimate main event player, and her journey has been nothing short of incredible. While other superstars may have had great moments in 2024, no one has consistently been as impactful as Liv. She's overcome injuries, personal setbacks, and challenges, and has emerged stronger on the other side. In conclusion, Liv Morgan's 2024 has been a masterclass in resilience, reinvention, and star-making. From her heel turn to her unforgettable feud with Rhea Ripley, she has done more than enough to prove that she belongs in the main event scene. When we look back at this year, I truly believe that Liv Morgan will be remembered as one of the breakout stars of 2024, and I for one can't wait to see where her journey takes her next.